Check. Check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? It looks like people should hear me. Can you hear me? Oh, perfect. All right, Ethan Flatnose, I know who you are now. Thank you very much. Okay. So let's put a pin in this. Actually, I'm gonna tweet this right now. I'm gonna tweet it, and we'll do this so you can all see that I'm doing it, that I'm doing the thing. Right here, I'm gonna say, at me when vocal stops working, unplug headset, plug back in. Can I actually tweet myself? Let's see. Heck. That's what it is. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so Node Botanist, this is awesome. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Cool. Nobody needs to see on my social, even though you can. I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Like audio version of exactly. Unplug it, plug it back in, turn it off, turn it on again. That's how it goes. Yo, Node Botanist, I hope you're doing really well. I read your blog post and I didn't pay enough attention when you were talking about your streaming schedule, and so I showed up and I was sitting there like, okay. I see the schedule on the screen. This is about when it happens. It's about 10 minutes. They're probably running a bit late. No problem. Setting up. And then I got to be about 30 minutes. I was like, wait a minute. So I dug back into it, and that's when I realized I need to learn to read. Get your 2019 shit together. Yeah. I feel like today was almost, at least in my industry, today was the International Day of catch up on your email and figure out what the heck you were working on before you took a break. The Mike Jolly, maybe we do the stream with no audio so we can dub in whatever we want later. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so what I have to do today, I have a goal. I have some goals. We'll go to the show and tell task list. Cam, we have, whoops. Apparently I've been writing upside down for my stream folks. Wrapping up a sabbatical, yeah, it's nice. My 2019 resolution, so undo Johnny 5 here, undo VS Code. So Node Botanist, I've been doing some Arduino stuff. I did a stream about it, and I made a thing. I don't know if you saw in the VOD. This is going to be, I think, my Saturday thing. So Tuesday, Thursday, normal schedule. Got good employment news I can announce when others, quote, get back from holiday. Yeah, understood. Hey, if it's news that you can announce when they get back, I'm going. No, don't worry about going and watching that. Node Botanist, please. That's the most basic stuff. I thought it was really interesting though. So when I did that stream, that was an ad hoc one because all of the LandonBR, that's awesome. Yes, I'm so excited for you. Yeah, you got it. So it's this. No, whoops. Show and tell. Node Botanist. So it's called On Task. I got 2 of these. I have one at home and I have one at the office because I buy duplicates of everything because I don't like to carry a bunch of crap. But it comes with one of these, but it's just dry erase, right? And so it's the whiteboard triangle, and it has an eraser on it that's perfectly sized for doing that. And the best part about it is that, are those the ones that track time? No, this is just well, you tell me. Could you figure out how to make this track time accelerometer on the rotate for the Pomodoro? You're the smart one with this stuff, Node Botanist. Yeah, no, this is it's straight up analog. So what I like about it though is I do try to focus on a mission, but sometimes you get stuck. I get stuck, and I need to move on to another thing, especially on stream. And so you just do a thing, and so then maybe you write a thing saying do this, and then you have to send an email or a pull request or some sort of an authorization request, like I need a new account or keys for this, whatever. Then fine, move to the next thing and just keep going. Or if you hit a brick wall, like I do sometimes, you can just move on, and sometimes that stuff just comes to you. You're just like, oh wait, derp, you know. So we are going to make some diagrams in my favorite application, and then we are going to terraform some basic stuff, and then we are going to document it somehow. This is what we're doing. Node Botanist, yeah, I need one for my future work desk to like to keep me on task or tell others I'm at a meeting. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Precisely. So we'll put this back in here. This is our goal. I'm not going to be spinning all night, so let's not get too derailed. I do actually have a goal. This is for, so we'll do diagrams first. So the goal of this is that I have a coworker at my consulting agency who is more going to the Azure side of the house. Whereas I'm the AWS practice lead, he's kind of my counterpart, but for Azure. And we, as a consultancy, are standardizing on using Terraform for our infrastructure as code solution. I've been doing this for a little bit. A person, at least that I know in here, has been doing it or has seen me do it, has done it. I think there was something about a Minecraft server, which I still can't find. You might want to message me that because I'm curious to see how you did that. But I have a few other coworkers that may pop in here. I've kind of given them the expectation that this is. I think I know who you are then. Okay. Well, if that's you, why don't you give me a follow? It costs you nothing, and it helps me out. What's wrong with you, man? Anyway, so when we do this, we're going to do it at a very super basic level because the goal is to introduce the technology and the concept behind Terraform, not anything AWS specific. So we will be doing it with AWS because that's what I know, but we will not be doing it in the way that I would do it for production. So there are some things that we will not be using. How much time do I have? I like to go about 2 hours. That's kind of my normal stream, but this is an ad hoc one. So what's wrong with it? Oh, yeah. No, I'm not your therapist today. That's the thing. If you are a Twitch streamer, your audience is your therapist. I'm laying back. Look, I'm laying back on the leather couch. How cool is that? Whereas my crappy chair is not real leather. This jacket is. You're my therapy. Okay. Shall we get started with the overview here? Yes? We shall. And let me know if the music is too low or if you have adjustments or whatnot. I think I fixed the new follower alert thing on most of the scenes that it matters, but I don't know. Again, I'm trying to not put a whole bunch of time into tweaking the stream thing. I'm trying to put more time into the content of the stream and in being diligent enough to actually do it. So let's presume I did a few things, because I did. Let's see. There we go. Captain MWP is following. Voice and mannerisms. We have too much in common regarding voice and mannerisms. That's funny. I'm just being me. I think that's funny. You unfollowed and followed. Ragox99, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. What is the topic? We're going to go over to do a little Terraform intro tutorial setup type thing. Y'all should pair programs sometimes and blow some minds. I agree. Actually, I would love to. I would love to pair with C# Fritz. In fact, what? Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. So speaking of, if it behaves, boom. I do at least have some basic stuff set up. And if you are not aware, Node Botanist also streams. So check them out. Both them good peoples. They really do a very good job of bringing together the community, and I do understand it's 2019. People are changing up their stuff. I really wish that there was a collective calendar type thing, because I try to stream when it works for me, but also I don't want to step on other people in their streaming times. I don't have that command. Do you want to know about the keyboard? Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm gonna not have that through, but I do know what you mean. Okay, let's do real quick. Just real quick. So, this is a Vortex Racer 3. They're pretty cheap. These currently are the Cherry MX Clears. I have another one of these that I keep at work that is the exact same layout with the exact same keys and key colors and the homing keys and then the Vim keys, but they are the Cherry MX Blues. So Vortex Racer 3, I got both of them on Amazon. Really, really affordable. Is there a Twitch API? Probably. I would presume. Yeah, shoot me a link for that. I do kind of want to play with it. So there is another brand new streamer. I think this is right. I believe that's right. Their first stream was a dad and son stream running Minecraft on the Raspberry Pi and programming against it using Python. Does not seem available in the UK. You know, maybe there's a way to get it from the manufacturer. So when I had bought this at the same time that C# Fritz did, I got it in the clears, and then when I thought, okay, I do actually like it, I want to invest in the second keyboard, the clears weren't available. So I decided, okay, I'll check out the blues. The blues are too clicky for me to have at home. The family does not like that. Very, very loud. Okay, so let's get a. I think I actually have a diagram going here. Let's see. Not that, not that, not that, not that, not any of that. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Landon BR, I agree. That was a fantastic stream. That was so wholesome. You don't like it at work. We get out of here. Whatever. Whatever. Well, then don't come in. Or come in after 10:30 or 11. Rygox99 is now following. Fantastic. Thank you very much for following. I appreciate it. That's awesome. So I inspired him by showing that people that are supposed to be smart can actually be completely fine being dumb on Twitch. No, seriously, I learn things on here from you folks, and hopefully some things you get to learn from me as we learn things together. I think, so stream resources. I have a whole folder in here, and we'll just open this. So we're going to start from scratch. So what would I want to show my new coworker who doesn't know anything about AWS? So I use Lucidchart. Lucidchart is almost like an online Visio. No Botanist, I'm dumb on Twitch all the time. No, I love your stream, and you are you're an amazing person in the community. I think, to be honest, although NoopCat and some others do have really good content on their streams, I think that people like you really bring it to be more of a community and in kind of help. I'm not going to say enforce because, moderators, we have to do stuff sometimes, but encourage good behavior. And the streamers usually do that too. They reward good behavior, but it's one of those things where we we have these things that we know that are kind of pockets, and we get this imposter syndrome because we don't know all the pockets. Nick Grassetto, new follower, thank you very much for following. I appreciate it. Welcome. If you have any questions about what we're doing, post it down there in the chat. Everybody here is super helpful. We like to help people. But yeah, as I was saying, no botness. I think that having really strong influencers in the community is going to be the point of Twitch 2019 creative, or I'm not even going to say creative because I moved my category to science and technology. I don't know why. We'll see. But non-gaming. What is my keyboard brand? So the keyboard brand is Vortex Racer 3. I'm going to find this for you. And at some point, I will create a bot command here. Here we go. And it's an awesome keyboard. I bought this off Amazon. This is not an Amazon link. That's just where I happen to get the two that I have. And I don't post affiliate links. So that right there, that's just the first Google. But you can see it's the thing. It feels good. I like to type with it. That's why I'm so chatty in other people's streams, because it's fun to type on. All right, let's so these icons, these are AWS specific ones, and Lucidchart actually supports Azure as well. So all these Azure ones you could get. There's circuit diagrams, data flow, entity relationship, floor plans even. I mean, so it's basically like an online Visio, but this means that you can use it on a Mac, and anybody can use it anywhere. So I just selected AWS architecture and brought it in. So I use this all the time. All the time. So here's what we're going to have. We're going to have an AWS account, and we're going to call this billing and users. Give me one sec here. It's one of those things. And inside billing and users, I'm going to have an IAM user. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to comment on the Microsoft thing. There's so many Microsoft friendly people in the community that are pretty awesome. Waz321 says you had brown keys home. Not sure I follow you. I don't use browns. I use clears at home, and I use Cherry MX Blue at work to drive people crazy because they deserve it. So I'm gonna call this. Whoops. There. Let's zoom in here. So I'm just gonna hold my Alt key on the Mac and zoom in. Terraform is going to have a AWS STS associated to it. And we're going to have an entirely different AWS account. Wintermute21, green, I don't know, honestly. I have a friend that bought one of those like little tester thing. It's a keyboard that's like 3x3, so you could put 9 different switches, and the switches themselves were hot swappable. So you could actually get one of each type of these switches, and you could type in and test how it feels. I feel that that's a little misleading, and I would prefer to try things out on other people's keyboards when they let me borrow them. And I have a coworker that is very, very into keyboards, and always has the best stuff and makes me very jealous. And I have to be careful about that because I still have bills. So then we're going to have an entirely different AWS account. Now, why would I do this? Security. So we want to do that because the only thing you want in this account is IAM users or your AD Federation and your billing information. And, you know, stuff like your cloud, your billing bucket for your detailed billing report and all that. Separately, we'll have this. And this will be the cloud that we'll use. We'll call this some demo account. And so you create all of this under an AWS organization. And that icon, I believe, nope, is right here. So that's AWS organizations that you have these. This is your root. I think I'll just make that explicit. Root account should be heavily protected. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yep, tester board. That's a good call. Okay, now inside this demo account, we're going to create a VPC, which stands for Virtual Private Cloud. And again, these same type of things exist in Azure. I'm almost certain of it. I'm not an Azure guy, and so I don't know. So we're going to create a VPC. And inside the VPC, we're going to want at least one availability zone. Consider an availability zone the abstract concept of a data center. Behind the scenes, it's actually a collection of them, but it's very reliable. And we're going to place that in a region, which we will probably just do Ohio because it's closer to me. I know this is getting really messy, but let me throw this stuff out here just to get you guys all on the same page. So inside the availability zone, in the VPC, we're going to have some subnets. We're going to create one. We'll just do one, just a public one, a public subnet. And inside that public subnet, we're going to put an EC2 instance. This will be the machine that's running. We're going to add an internet gateway to the VPC, which is the in-out. And that means that this will let us get at this thing. And we'll just SSH. Wintermute 21, I thought I got away from Ohio, but it keeps coming back. Do you mean in terms of moving, or in terms of people choosing that as their region? It's not a bad region. I would even if I was on the West Coast, I would choose Ohio instead of Northern California, to be honest. That's a very flaky region from what I've seen. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So we got our subnet, which we can make tinier. And that is also going to be using a route table on it that establishes the routing from the gateway to here. Oh, in terms of cultural references. Oh, Northeast Ohio, really? Interesting. I will say, Wintermute, thank you very much for Ohio actually using salt on their roads, because Pennsylvania does not seem to. Just saying, previous truck driving days. And the toll road is fantastic when you're a truck driver. It's expensive, but Youngstown, heck, know exactly where that is. One of the companies that I drove for, they actually had a DC there, or an OC, an operating center. You'll notice them because their trailers are the same color as your name is showing up right now, and the same color as a lot of this AWS iconography is. You probably will recognize it. Real quick, we need to... Okay, hang on. We need to make a clarification here, is that who can do stuff in here, right? is that we're going to use cross-account role authentication, which means that there is a role that we create, and in this case, we're going to do it as an administrator. You don't have to. We could probably, since we're not doing other IAM related type stuff, we could probably do power user, but I went ahead and did admin. So one of the problems with Terraform is there's a lot of API stuff that goes on behind the scenes. It's very, very difficult to predict what access levels are going to be needed by your infrastructure as code before you actually deploy it. Now, there are some people that are coming up with some cool ideas. Like you have a script that's basically a loop that tries to apply the plan, and when it errors out, it captures the access error and goes and escalates the privileges to cover that error, and it'll just keep repeating that until it finally succeeds. Or you could give it admin rights, you could deploy your infrastructure, you could look at your CloudWatch logs and see the access it actually used, and then dial that back. I don't care. Certainly not for this. So what's going to happen is we're going to have an IAM user, which I have CLI keys, so a key and a secret, on my machine that will assume a role to be able to go in and act as this role in a whole different account to then execute, creates, and destroys on this infrastructure. That's what we're going to try and do. Sound good? Any questions about the diagram? I mean, it's kind of crappy. I know. And I'm not going to dive into the particular details of AWS because this is just kind of one of those ad hoc streams. And to be honest, it's selfish for two reasons. Three. For one, there are people that I work with or worked with that didn't realize that I stream, and I want them to catch me. For two, I have to do this anyway to help out a fellow dev at work. And for three, according to my path to affiliate, I had to do one more day. One more unique day. And I kind of didn't want to wait till my normal one tomorrow. So, is that bad? I don't know. I'm not really looking to make money on this, but it would be cool if I had the ability to. How do you show ingress egress rules in Lucidchart? You don't really. There isn't, I mean, there isn't necessarily a built-in like icon to be able to do that. I suppose a custom one would be pretty cool. And actually there are a few things missing when you do this for real in production, with especially how you dedicate the VPC CIDR blocks and then the individual subnet CIDR blocks. And I would show more that I have, but I can't because of NDA. And this is a public stream that I record and then I archive. So the best I can do is take things that I do for work that are abstract enough that it's not going to expose any kind of sensitive information. But yeah, there's not a great way to really show that. Rambling Geek, have you and your Azure counterpart compared cost of each platform? Are they pretty much like for like? No idea. No idea. For what we're doing, to be honest, in my particular area, Azure is very, very small demand compared to AWS. So what I do is a mix of lift and shift from a data center to the cloud, optimize an existing cloud, or do new cloud development. Of those three things, nobody's asking for Azure. But again, that's just geographically. So my current city is very much an AWS type shop, just like they're a Java C# shop, mostly C#, I would say. So AWS is just one of those that they took off and everybody's into it. Probably USA. Yeah, not Europe. Not in Europe. I don't have a problem showing my location. It's not that hard to find. I just don't give out a ton of information. I try not to. Mostly because it's not relevant. But as far as this kind of infrastructure type thing, AWS is much more in demand, and so that the way consultancy works, we have to go after the demand. Now, that's not to say that Azure is not amazing at some certain things. It's just that a lot of the companies that I'm doing business with, they're not doing IoT. They're not doing machine learning. So if that's what Azure excels at, great. But it's just not one of those things that we have a lot of demand for. So I'm not going to spend all that time learning too much about it until there's money to pay. Azure EU, AWS US. That's weird because they're both US companies. I wonder why Azure is so strong in the EU. Ethan Flatnose asks, randomish question. How bad is it to have personal IP addresses in GitHub? No pressure to answer now. What do you mean personal IP addresses? Like your home? Like if you went to what is my IP? Is that what you mean? I wouldn't do it, but I don't think there's a huge danger. Dear Tyrann, Dear Tyrann, I'm probably butchering the crap out of that. EU here using AWS. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna WAS321, I'm gonna say Azure was first out in EU. I'm gonna say I don't have proof that you're wrong, but I'm gonna strongly doubt that. Very, very strongly doubt that. I was launching things in Frankfurt back in 2011 or so, 11 or 12. It's just like how people think that if they have an Oracle server on-prem, they should go with Oracle Cloud, when in fact AWS has been Oracle hosting longer than Oracle has. AWS has been doing Microsoft server and SQL Server hosting longer than Microsoft has. How Azure became the biggest. Yeah, well, that's the thing. They're not the biggest. Yet, they're close on the heels. And I like it. Ethan Flatnose. I would say it's probably not terrible to have it checked into source control. It's just you don't necessarily need to, though, right? I mean, can't you just pull back from parameter store or something if you wanted to? You don't necessarily need it. There's probably ways around it. Rambling Geek says, as of December 2014, if you guys are wondering why I'm reading the chat, it's for the videos after, so people, if the chat gets cut off, they don't see me just talking to the screen saying crap. Rambling Geek says, as of December 2014, Amazon Web Services operated an estimated 1.4 million servers across 28 availability zones. The global network of AWS Edge locations consists of 50 points. Well, this is in 2014. 54 points of presence worldwide, including locations in the US, Europe, Asia, Australia, and South America. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so what you could do, okay, what you could, I wonder, and I probably won't have time to do an experiment with this, but maybe we'll put a pin in this. Maybe tweet me this idea, is with your Terraform TFVARs, that you would presume to be your local stuff. For one, always have defaults, right? In case you're on a new machine or whatever. But what if you even, like, not just get ignored it, but I wonder if you had TFVARs that you symlinked. How does Git work with symlinks? Like, so somewhere, like maybe in your dot files or somewhere private, you have TFRs that have values of stuff that are relatively sensitive, or preferences or IP ranges of, like, this is where this is my IP range from my Starbucks and my home and my office, and my vacation home or what. I don't have a vacation home, but I wonder if you stored those in a file and then you were able to just symlink those into a TFR's symlink in a repo for something, if when you actually run the Terraform apply, it would be able to see those, but yet Git doesn't even know what the heck that is. So you wouldn't even have an ignore for it. I don't know. Anyway, okay. All right, so this is what we're going to try to get set up. So what do you have to do first? What do you have to do? I should probably document this. So we should. Like that idea, something like that working for AWS access keys in my bash profile. So you should take a look at Awesome. There's somebody in the chat that's going to blow up and probably talk about this great command called Awesome, and then also drop hints about GitLab and the benefits of a split keyboard. But we're not getting into that today. Okay, so okay, so we had the diagram. Then there is the AWS account creation, which I did. There is assume the default role in new account, which I did. Create new role with name for assuming that role from another account, which I did. These are things that I did off stream because it's too sensitive. Ethan, if you have problems with that, Frackberg or I can walk you through that. By the way, it's fantastic if you could figure out how to add. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, also, remember to source that bash RC all day long. It's one of them things. Oh, it's also fantastic if you remember to actually install Terraform and run it as Terraform and not in a Docker container, which cost me a day of work. We talked about that yesterday. Go back and check the VOD. I explained that. That was my dummy move. And I had to eat that time, by the way. I couldn't build that to the client. So that was bad. So we create a new role with a name for assuming that role. We go back to, I'm going to call this the root account. Root account. Find user and or group. Create inline policy to assume the role. Make sure you have CLI keys for that user set up in your local user/user tilde/tilde AWS config and AWS Jules. Make sure you can run Awesome list. So I found that Awesome program is really good at detecting anomalies in your configuration or credential files if you have an error. So I did run into that right before stream where I said output -JSON instead of output equals JSON. So, Rambling Geek, is it odd that I have my dev folder source controller with Git in OneDrive and the sync to my desktops? I'm not sure. That is probably fine. It's not uncommon to have your dot files pushed up to Git. Yeah, dear Tyrion, what if you're on Windows? I don't know, man. I'm like one of the rare streamers that doesn't I don't do Windows, I don't run Windows, I don't VM Windows, and I don't work for Microsoft, and I don't do C Sharp. There's a whole bunch of other people that do that or do a mix of it. Um, but I'm not the guy to ask about that. Yeah. Yeah, you could do a boot Linux, or you could use the what's it called? The Windows subsystem Linux. Could do that. Wintermute, there you go. Exactly. See, I don't have hate. I just don't do it. I can't do all the things. I bet there's a whole bunch of things that those other people do that they don't do that I do. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that they do that I don't do. That's what makes a community. We don't have a singular demigod in the Twitch community leading us toward the path of enlightenment of how to do all the things. We just have a collection of people that have passion behind what they're doing. Okay, so we'll say some dangers. We'll say don't show keys on Twitch. Don't commit keys in Git. Be careful committing Terraform state to Git. Somebody had so Node Botanist had a comment. So this was out of band. Show AWS prep work before stream. Create keyboard command. Maybe create editor. Although I'm not really the one to talk about Tmux and Vim, I barely got it working, and it's holding together like a pile of taped up shoestrings. It's working for now. I'm not really good at this. I mean, you could use a Chromebook for web development, technically. I did it for a week or two. It's not too bad. Okay, so then next actions. Let's see. So let's just we'll do our visual selection block. We'll scroll down. We'll insert, and we'll say did the diagram. Yep. I created the account. I assumed that role. I created a new role. I went back to the root account, made a note of it. Found the user I already have. It's just called Terraform. Made an inline policy for it because I'm not doing a group for this stuff. I'll probably just destroy this whole thing. CLI keys, yep. And make sure I can run also, yep. So did that. So the next thing, okay, so we're going to git repo init private push with hub. Make main tf. Initialize a provider. AWS. Just gonna catch up on chat here for a sec. I'll save this too. Happy New Year. We even have. Hey, you, Ultra Hal. Are you calling me an old bastard? You're right, but TF lock table are not worried about it for this. I'm not worried about it for this. It's a singular account. I'm not even going to do remote state. I'm going to do local state. I'm not going to commit it. I'll add it to the git ignore. It's this is the start of something that we could show Dennis, but it's also introducing most people on the stream to the concept of what Terraform even is if they're not aware. And then maybe, you know, if this works and becomes a thing that's kind of cool, then maybe we could go into some advanced stuff on other streams. And I don't mean to say advanced, like, you know, I'm I'm saying, you know, make it work, then make it good, right? Make it work, and then maybe we could revisit and say, here's why this is absolutely a bad idea that we did on the last stream. Let's make it better. So that's kind of the goal with this. So also in the next actions, we will create a VPC. Create an internet gateway. Create a subnet in an AZ. Create an instance running something. Connect to it. So maybe like an SSH Bastion or something. Which is kind of cool because then we can get into that whole key generation thing that I stumbled on and have been using and really, really liking. But we shouldn't actually have to do that, to be honest. Yeah. Let's just say Nginx, right? So that means that we should be able to go to the internet gateway at the public IP. Oh shit, that's right. Oh, whoops, sorry for cursing there. Create an instance. Yeah. Yep. So we should be able to get the public DNS for the instance and hit it and see the hello world for Nginx. That's kind of the goal. So that's what we're gonna try and do. Okay, we are at about 50 minutes, so we're gonna take a short break, trying to Pomodoro this. You guys still with me? Or are you folks still with me? Just making sure. We're gonna build this now. We're gonna get live. All right. So I'm gonna be back in less than 5 minutes. Enjoy the tunes. Turn this up a little bit. I shall return shortly. Hey y'all, welcome back. Just gonna catch up here. Yeah, perfect time for your health walk. Exactly. Stay healthy, my friend. WAS321, did the color buttons come in the package of the Vortex Race 3? Which color buttons do you mean? Let's go over here. Do you mean these ones or these ones or this white one? I can address that for you. Get your walk on, get your drink on, gather in. The ones in the middle, so these ones right here, no, these were bought separately. In fact, all right, well, we'll do a little even more show and tell. Hang on, I have a very long cord, so I have a, I have a tote. I'm totes about the totes. So this is my keyboard junk tote that I have random stuff like so each of these bags, these are the gray keys that I pulled off of the keyboard to replace them with these colored ones that it did ship with. These are the ones I ordered separately, so you'll notice that I'm using most of the green ones, but these are separate. So these are extras that I have actually. So I've got the regular ones that I pulled off, and then I used the green ones, but it also comes with some cream colored ones and also some kind of reddish, kind of Arkansas soil colored. Yeah, the red, blue, green, yellow, they came with it. They came with it. So they came in a bag like this. So there's, you'll notice, well, hang on. I'll find this. This will make sense. Hang on. Let me find it. So look, there's even a key called Win, if you could see it, Win, for like the Windows key. I'm on a Mac, so I don't use it. So it came with a bunch of extra gray ones, so I could swap out for, I like the Mac Command one, but it also came with this, these arrow keys, that green one, these two, the inner key. Yeah, so I'm using all the colored ones really. But yeah, it comes with it, so you could customize that for yourself. If you're a Windows user, it comes with like a Windows key. If you're a Mac user, it comes with the Mac, like the little command. There's a name for that symbol. I don't remember what it is, but yeah. Also, I should probably mention that on this keyboard and the one that I have at work, I have rubber O-rings under each of the keys. So I'll pop one of these keys off, so we can just see. So we'll just use the keycap puller, which I don't remember if it came with this, but they're very valuable. But underneath each of them, you see the little black ring. So the little black ring is from this set of these little rubber O-rings that I got. All right, later, Ethan. I do actually archive these to YouTube, and they're available on Twitch as video on demand for, I think, at least 14 days, and it might be 60. Or it might be 60 if I hit affiliate. But I am archiving these over to YouTube, so they will be saved. I appreciate you stopping by. Let me know if you have stream ideas or anything like that. Appreciate the feedback. Yeah, that's all I've got to show out of here. I have a lot more keycap pullers than I think I should. Yeah, no problem. I'll shoot you a link on our Slack for my YouTube. I'm not too hard to find. Yeah, and I actually haven't watched the ones on YouTube. I don't know what happens when you archive it over there, if it actually keeps the chat. I don't know how that works, but I know that I do try. So WAS321, yeah, no problem. I'm happy to talk about it. I think it's a fantastic keyboard. It's compact enough. I like the arrow keys, so there's certain layouts that don't have it. I like the function keys a lot. I need to have the function keys, especially for escape and F1. F1 is what I'll use in VS Code to bring up the command palette. So I just kind of got used to that. Yeah, and I remap my keys to certain other stuff. No problem. Okay. So where are we at? Okay, stuff to do. Let's say, okay, we're going to go back. We did the diagrams, correct? That's right. We did. Probably should. I think maybe we should export that, to be honest. Maybe we should do that. Let's do that now. Add it to the repo. So in here, you would say, you would say download as, and we'll just download as a ping. And we just have the one. So I'm going to download that. Takes a minute. There we go. So we have it. Give me a second. I'm going to drag that over to my desktop. I'm going to open VS Code, which has my stuff. I'm going to drag that in there. And I'm going to rename it to infra diagram. So it's in there. All right, we got to figure out what we're doing here. Okay, so we got the diagrams done. We're done with that. Okay. We're gonna want to get project this. So that's gonna entail a couple of steps, which is just kind of chill coding stuff. So next thing we'll get project this. Move this so I can see, keep an eye on if I'm dropping frames, which I mean I can't really do anything about it. What would people do? I don't know. Okay, so let's go down here. Make that a list. We got dangers. We got we got this. This is going to be for me keeping notes of stuff I need to do. We will do this. So let's not be in here. Oh, that's why. Write that buffer. There we go. Let's see. I want to make sure this is big enough for everybody. We don't need that so big. We're going to want a little bit of that. Can you guys read that? Is that good enough? Let me know. If it's too small, I maybe bump it up. Hopefully it's big enough. So we're going to make a project. We're going to say get init. We're going to engineer notes. Yeah, WAS321. So what I've started doing is I put an engineer notes markdown file that is really just for me. So this isn't really about the project. It's about me working on the project. And I get ignore this. So I'm not going to commit this to the repo because sometimes I put secrets, I copy paste some things that are like command line things, and sometimes the command line includes arguments that include keys or secrets. And it's basically just for me when I come back to the project to figure out where in the hell was I, right? So normal holiday stuff hits, and everybody's like, I'm done, I'm out, peace out. And then January 2nd comes around, and you're like, what the heck? The template, not open source. The template, not open source. What do you mean, WAS321? The template, not open source. You mean like You mean the actual like the actual file that I'm keeping? It's just Markdown. This is just notes that I'm taking. I'm not using a template. This is free range artisanal handcrafted Markdown. Yeah, that's just what I do. So I don't know if there is like a standard template. That's cool. Yeah, I make it up on the fly. On the fly. I do it live. Oh, wait a minute. I think you're. So, are you talking about how I instantly turn this into checklist and whatnot? What? Clarkia raid? Oh, heck. Heck. Yeah, free range, artisanal. Really, really, really. Fiog is now following. Really, Fiog. Clark is raiding with a party of 20. Holy. Nice, Clarkio. You're awesome. I appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. Rated with 20 viewers and hosting. That is crazy. That's awesome. Hello, everybody. How are you doing tonight? So we're working on a little bit of Terraform for a work project. Talk to me, Gooseman, and the Goose is loose too. Hey, Clarkio, good to see you. This is crazy. I don't know if this is going to be the most exciting thing in the world because I've been doing this for a while, but I find Terraform to be fascinating. Clarkio is a new follower. See, I've got my alerts. Now I can actually see. This is fantastic. Patrick Developer is now following. Thank you very much, Patrick Developer, for the follow. Welcome to the party. Welcome to Robert Tables. So, you may be wondering, why did these people, these fine folks, raid you over here? It's because you can't believe you weren't following. Yeah, it's no problem. It's no problem. Hey, man. But look, instant follow, and you're already a VIP in my stream. I was wondering why you weren't following too, Clarkio. Just saying. Alerts and enabled low late. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, heck, it has been it has been a true struggle. There are certain things that I do know about, and we're going to talk about some of them today. There's a lot that I don't. So the stream has been rough. The first 10, almost 15 minutes of the stream was me trying to figure out why is my audio not working, and it turns out unplug my headset and plug it back in. Fixed. Which is the same thing that I did last night, but I forgot it, so I tweeted it to myself. So I would remember next time. So, welcome everybody to the channel. So I focus mostly on Node, Docker, and cloud-related things specific to AWS. It's only because that's what I do. It's not. Have I tried? I tried, and it worked. It worked perfectly. I've been seen around the Twitch developer community. I love the Twitch developer community. That's probably why I have some friends that are rating and hosting and whatnot. We try to keep it positive around here. I will note that this is a mature content channel, so there could be some curse words slipped here and there. My bots sometimes get crazy. I have competing bots, which is Nightbot and then Stream Elements, and so if things go sideways, I'm trying to not do that and don't take it out on me. I will try to fix it, make a note, and do it in the next stream. So what are we working on today? Well, I have a coworker at my consulting agency who focuses more on the Azure side. And we are standardizing as a consultancy on Terraform as the infrastructure as code provider for all of our cloud everything. And I'm trying to put together a little bit of a walkthrough tutorial type thing that I can kind of demo to them. Set up the bots to argue with each other. Yeah, exactly. No, you know what? What we should do is we should do some machine learning to try to get them to be like the scammer caller in Kitboga. Kitboga. I think it's Kitboga. And and see how that goes. Which one can scam the other one into money flipping to Jamaica or whatever that last one was. That would be funny. So we're setting up a tutorial. What we've done so far is we've actually created Spider-Man pointing. We've actually created a diagram. We'll show the diagram if I could find it. So we've created a diagram of what we're going to create. So there's some stuff we already have created. I have a Terraform user, off-stream, STS, under an organization, a whole different account with a cross-account authenticated admin role. That's all been done before. It's noted in the checklist of what we did before. In a whole different account, we're going to create a VPC in a region which will be Ohio, singular VPC, or singular AZ, availability zone, which is a data center or collection of data centers. They don't actually give out that information about what actually backs it. Within that VPC, we're going to create and mount an internet gateway. Kitchen Confidential is now following. Holy. So, all right, that's either a super clever username or I'm about to get told off on my food cooking. I'm just saying. So if I'm like live on TV, I'm cooking up code, like free range artisanal Vim and Markdown in Terraform here. At some point, actually, when you get this into automation, you could consider it like sous vide. Sous vide code. iAngelo _ is now following. Thank you very much for the following. I appreciate it. You all are helping me meet my goal. One of these days, we're going to get there, they say. Also, since I do, big fan of Anthony. Anthony, which Anthony? Too soon, Anthony? I think I know what you're talking about. Brave Cobra 2, hello, man. How are you doing? I am going to have to get a bot going that will actually, let's put this in the notes. Let's put this in the notes. Vim Engineer notes. We will want that. Let's do create a, what are you doing command for the bot. Create a recap command. Kind of a cool idea. Like maybe I could, maybe as we do things like this, like as we check these things off, maybe it could be updated so that this would be like, what are we working on? Or maybe I have a summary up here, like summary, make a demo for my coworker about Terraform. Like that, right? Yeah, checklists so I do a couple of things, and I think you may have just joined, so I do a couple of things. So the other thing that I do is I have this thing. It's basically a triangle-shaped whiteboard. And so I can set particular goals, and if I get stuck on one, I can flip over to the next one. But it's on task. I got 2 of these on a Kickstarter, and they were kind of expensive at the time. But there is a built-in eraser for when you're done. You just wipe it, and a compartment where I should have my dry erase marker inside. And you just set this on your desk, and you can just focus on that and say, this is what I'm working on. Don't get distracted. Which doesn't really work when you're streaming, but it does help you remind yourself what the hell you're doing. So, yeah, I do that. And then the checklist, whoops. So the checklist stuff is, I put this in a file that I add to gitignore, and I never check it into source code. Good for TDD when you're trying to enforce the stages. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's actually a super good idea. Actually, that's, never thought about that. Because you do have the 3, right? So like write a failing test, write a code, and a refactor, right? That's perfect. You're a clever dude. I like you. I like you. Talk to me, Gooseman. That's a great idea. Although I don't do TDD like most people do. Sometimes I can, but a lot of times I do what I call test soon after development, where I don't really know enough about the new thing that I'm coding in to even know how the test framework works. So I try to do a very, very small chunk of getting something working and then figure out how I write the test against it. And then I can broaden my knowledge of the testing and the framework to then eventually get to TDD. But a lot of times when you're first starting out with a thing, I don't even know how you would do that. I don't know. I don't know how you do it. Let's see. So create a recap command. I'm thinking. So this would be, whoops, Terraform. Example of a recap command output. Okay, cool. I just want to jot that idea down. Brave Cobra 2 in early dev stage, TDD is counterproductive. Yeah, it can be. Yeah. Um, yeah, it can be. It's not. I think the mindset of TDD though, even in the early stage, is important. When you're writing a thing, you have to be thinking, how do you test it? Tito 7170 is now following. Thank you very much. Welcome to the channel. I don't have a name for this like the Champions Club, but you know, I feel like a champion today. So welcome to the Champions Club. I don't think Doc is streaming, so okay, let's do some stuff. Let's do some stuff. So, oh, nice. It does. Did it sync? Yeah, VS Code is awesome. Okay, so we have our infrastructure diagram. Y'all can see that, right? And I already have some stuff. It's already pointed out. And these are the things that I made off stream because privacy, security, etc., etc. But we do have this, and we're going to use a user I created with STS, which is the security token service that lets me, for a short time, request the ability to, yeah, Rambling Geek, yeah, VS Code on a Pi. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, talk to me, Gooseman. TDD for the UI? Nah, pass. Hard pass, bro. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a little tough. So there's an open source repository that I participate on with a pretty well-known streamer that we all know and love, that because it's not tested but it's in dire need of refactoring, it's kind of a catch-22 where it's currently in need of refactoring, but it's very hard to test. And you don't want to move a bunch of crap around unless it's tested, because that's not refactoring. That's just moving crap around. So you will find yourself at certain points getting to where you're like, this whole thing is not even written in a way that it could be testable. Or, let me put it this way, it's not written in a way that you could write it with a high degree of confidence that you're testing all the things. Yeah, Brave Cobra 2, excellent point. Any legacy app inheritance is hard. It is hard. And what I think is funny is Nick Nisi is now following. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. What I think is funny, Brave Cobra 2, is as much progress as we've made on making programming accessible to people through things like Free Code Camp and like all kinds of other stuff like that. That is, how do you start from scratch? You literally never do that. Like, I mean, maybe sometimes you get to greenfield it, but you literally never do that. So I think it's kind of funny that all of the teaching that we're doing is teaching people how to build a thing from scratch, when like that's not what you do in the real world. Not for money. Except for when you do it on Twitch. And then I have all the control. which this is going to make us feel pretty godlike, to be honest. Okay, so I have an organization. I have my billing account, which I will not show. I have a Terraform user with CLI keys and my local AWS credentials file. I have a role set up in my credentials file that allows me to use the STS that I've been granted to assume the admin role in an entirely different account that I created new today on the stream. Recap exactly. Yeah. All the control. Hey, talk to me, Gooseman. It's godlike. Uh, Inside an entirely different AWS account, I'm going to create a VPC in a particular region, which we'll use Ohio. And then within the region, we're going to create a subnet in the region. We're going to set up the route table, the internet gateway that allows things to get in and out. So this will be a public subnet. This is important for simplicity. We'll set up an EC2 instance that's going to be running something like Nginx or something. So we could grab the generated IP to EIP on the internet gateway, hit it on normal port 80, non-SSL, and get the Nginx welcome screen. I don't know if we're going to get that done tonight, but we're going to get part of the way there. Sound good? There we go. All right. We're done with the diagram. We need to get to make it a real Git project so I can continue if we don't get very far today, which we may not. It's been a lot of setup and whatnot, but I will say my regular stream, no Bastion exactly, because we're just making this public. This is public. So if I was doing this in a private subnet, that's where you got your Bastion. Does that make sense? We're just going to set this up as you can hit a thing, I think. We could get, yeah, exactly. Keeping it simple for now. Bastions and SC or SS Systems Manager and all of that. We'll get to that. By the way, Frackberg, I work with them. They're smarter at this than I am, and that's good because I'm keeping this really dumb and low for my own ease of explaining this to someone that doesn't even know what a Terraform is and is going to have to take the concept and translate it to Azure, which I don't know. But yeah, that's correct. We're keeping it simple for now. So we did initialize it. We're going to touch a get ignore. So this is why I like having this. Do you include the stuff to-do list? West 321. The stuff to-do list. Do you include the stuff to-do list? I don't. I ignore this. And you're going to see that right now. So I use an extension for generating a getIgnore. I will override the existing one. I will pick Mac. I will also pick Windows because I may work with people that need it. I will pick Terraform. I believe I have Node. Nope. I just always do Node because I do stuff like that. Syndev, I love Pi. I love Pi too. In fact, I'm more of a pie person than a cake person unless it's carrot cake. And then that wins over everything. Welcome. Hello, how are you doing? So we say, okay, look at this. It just generates all this. And then at the bottom, it says custom rules. And so custom rules is we're going to say engineer notes. .md, we're going to save that. So get add the get ignore. And now it should show the only thing that we're adding is the infrastructure diagram, which is probably not a great idea to be adding. Cheesecake is real. Talk to me, Gooseman. You know what? I agree. Cheesecake is really pie. Don't at me. All right, so get this off my face here so you can see. Maybe. Okay. So now since we added that, we only have this one. We'll say get add that, and we'll get commit message diagram. Y'all thought I was going to say just initial commit, right? Yeah, I know. I thought I was too, till I got excited. So now our issue is, where does this even live? Where does it live? Well, here's the cool thing. Hub. So if I say type A hub, type A get. So you notice that I'm using a command called hub, which is like a wrapper around get itself, which allows me to do cool stuff like from my command line, create a remote repository and push to it. Yeah, but I very rarely get the chance to do the double ampersands, and so I kind of take advantage of that. So we're going to create a repo. We're going to push it up. So we're going to say hub create. Let's just do help real quick. I want to see. What do I want to name it? Hub create. Yeah, Terraform basic tutorial. I mean, it's gonna join the ever growing collection of useless repos that I have out there that are really there for just my own damn reference, right? Like nobody's gonna use them. Some people use my stuff, but I don't care. It's like my remote clipboard. So I'll just say hub create. I'm already logged in. It's updating my. So if I do remote-v, which is remote verbose, it show get remote v. So it shows it already created, it already set this, did it now. Let's see. Or people following my Twitch projects. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if there's a better way for people to follow it, that's fine. But you can see I have 165 repos of mostly worthless crap. But you're correct. It does help to share and push the code. And so it's saying, it's almost as if I clicked create. And so it shows you this intro screen because we haven't really done anything. Let's do a thing. So we'll say get push. Well, get branch. Get push. Okay, so for those of you that are sensitive to cursing, there is a command that I use for these kinds of things. Sorry, I didn't name it. It does actually make sense. All right, so that means that we should have a thing with some stuff. There, okay. So here we go. README. I don't need no stinking README. Nobody needs a README. All right, where were we? Okay, so show and tell. So done, correct. I agree. Figure out. It's so weird using this in a way that I have to make it readable upside down. Okay. Uh-oh. I erased it. I forgot what I was doing. I think that said, yeah. Let's rewrite that. Because, heck. We can be civilized and legible around here, can't we? My innocent Christian ears, my goodness. I didn't say it. Okay. And then what did that say? Oh. I'm not even going to rewrite that. So the other one that accidentally was erased was docs. Lol. What half-ass project do you know that actually does docs? Okay. So that's for me. But y'all saw it. We got it. Got him. Get checkout. A new branch. TF. Provider. and don't F up state. Yeah. Docs in 2019. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Brave Cover 2. Always on it. Always on it. Brave Cover 2, are you making some progress on your goal toward that thing we talked about? That I'm not going to say anything about because I don't want to pressure you? Just asking. Nope, no lighting yet. No lighting yet. Well, I mean, I don't have great lighting. Actually, speaking of that, computer, office warmer.
Okay.
Are you? Computer, office warm.
Okay.
Whoa, that's not at all what I meant. Heck, to whip out the phone for it. There's something going on. Woo! We're getting crazy. I know, there we go. It's a little better mood lighting. Oh, hang on. What? Tippecanoe M86 is now following. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Viable clan member. That's well, welcome to the stream. Viable clan member is now following. You've got a very interesting username. I hope you know that can be taken many different ways. I'm just saying. Welcome to the stream though. Okay, we're done with the get ignore. We know we've got the engineer notes. The other thing that I do want to ignore though, because I don't. No, it does do that. So the other thing that I want to ignore, like explicitly, is TFRs. So let's make a comment here. So explicitly ignore TF vars. Don't, whoop, that's rocket. Don't use these, but if you do, protect yourself, right? Have I ever used Rancher? Nope. Nope, have not. Saw it was the thing that DigitalOcean kind of bought in on, and that was kind of their thing. And at that point, I was transitioning out of that kind of a world. So I'm sure it's fine. It's like Docker Swarm. Felt like a manager for it more. But no, I haven't used it, so I can't comment really. Well, let's get some more stuff that we're going to add before we do that. Yeah, we're not doing Kubernetes here, right? And heck, we're not even doing Docker here. Most of the time on the stream we do a lot of Docker, but this is kind of ad hoc for I have a work goal and I have several selfish goals for today's stream. But it's all good. It's all good. So in here, we're done with that. We got the get repo init, push with hub, make a main TF. So, are we in the right directory? Yup. Touch a main TF. I think that's close enough, but we're gonna want a TF. Nope. We're gonna want a vars TF. Yep. And we're probably gonna want a. I don't know if we even need to worry about that. All right. So next step in infrastructure. What goes in a main? What goes in a main? Like any good Terraform file. Uh-oh, hang on. Hang on. Mods, are you taking a look at this? If my mods are even still around, they're probably like, this nerd stuff. We don't have any time for this crap. Hang on. Yep, not sure what happened there. I don't even see a thing where I can. Yep, no idea. Oh, the monsters got him. So on here, what we're going to want is we're going to want to at least declare a single provider, right? And a Terraform provider is kind of like a package. So there's an Azure provider, there's an AWS provider. I will show you providers. The concept behind a provider is these are not maintained by Terraform, by HashiCorp itself. Some of them are, but AWS, for example, you are using all their stuff, right? And so these are basically written in Go in their wrappers around the AWS CLI calling APIs behind the scenes on your behalf so that you can write in a declarative language what you want your end state to look like, and these plugins work together to orchestrate how that happens. Connor at Kappa, hey, nice to see you. How you doing? We're nerding out. Do you guys think? Do you think it helps that I switched from creative to science and technology, or what are your thoughts on that? I'm just curious. I'm doing okay. It's my getting back to work day, but I didn't really take a lot of time off work. I streamed on here instead. Which, by the way, I have video on demand if you want to give me a follow to be alerted the next time I go live. My normal times are Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Saturdays at noon, so I don't stomp on other streamers. I think. Actually, yeah, Saturdays at noon. Yeah. Yep. Talk to me, Gooseman. I think S&T is the go-to now. S&T. Brave Cover 2, no, that's not right. No, that's not how that works. So let me explain this because this is I'm going to have to get the talking point down. Common Right Kappa, we're working on some Terraform. Yeah, science and tech. Sorry, talk to me, Gooseman. You said that think science and technology is a go-to now. Yeah, I was on creative for a little bit, and I thought it's not super creative. Brave Cobra 2. So let me explain this to you. Let me mansplain this to you. No, I'm sorry. I'm not. It is multi-cloud, but it supports more than just cloud. There's a DigitalOcean provider, and one can argue that DigitalOcean is not technically a cloud. Whatever. What about New Relic? What about Datadog? Would Datadog be called a cloud? Well, heck, let's just look here. Terraform Datadog provider. Well, heck. Look at that. Look. So there are Terraform providers for other things that have nothing to do with AWS. The concept, if you notice, look at the syntax here. Hang on, let's do this. Let's really illustrate this point. In Terraform, what is a provider? A provider requires certain things. This provider, AWS, requires a region, an access key, and a secret key, right? This Datadog provider simply requires an API key and an app key. But, I mean, they look heckin' similar, right? So the idea, well, yes, but it's more that okay, it's like React and React Native. As opposed to Java, which was write once, run anywhere, React and React Native followed the concept of learn once, write anywhere. If you get what I'm saying. So with Terraform, once you learn the tooling and the syntax of how HCL, which is HashiCorp language, very similar to JavaScript, once you learn how that works with the concept of there are providers, and providers have modules, and modules have attributes, and attributes have default props, then you will be able to write for any of these things that are supported. So there's an Azure provider. The syntax is the same. Sure, what you call a thing, like in Azure, you call it a VM. In AWS, we call it an instance. Whatever. But it's the same stuff. It all runs the same. Your Terraform plans and applies, and your plan versus out, and tainting resources and reproducing things from an out file. It all works the same. Yes, they're going to be named the same thing. Don't blame Terraform for that. Just because Azure wanted to call theirs a VM, whatever. They are provider specific. Yeah, because I mean, there's a Datadog time board. Like, I mean, yeah, it's got a title, a description, it's got a read only. These are things that you're going to have to learn for the provider that you're going to use for stuff. So if somebody said that Terraform was, quote, cloud agnostic, and you're going to be able to write a thing saying create a thing and put it everywhere, it don't work that way. Brave Cobra 2, but migrating a Kubernetes cluster from AWS to GCE or Azure would be simpler then. Well, if you had it terraformed in the first place. Otherwise, good luck. Rip. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it depends on how they're implemented. Depends on how Google wants to do stuff, and how Microsoft wants to do stuff, and how Amazon wants to do stuff. But I guess the point is that okay, we're going to take a short break because we're coming up on time. But let me ask you, Brave Cobra 2, and anyone else in the chat that's confused about Terraform not being the godsend that it was promised to be when they were told about it's cloud agnostic. What's your alternative? What are you gonna do? What is your alternative that you would use, that you would promote within an enterprise team? Would you use Ansible for all this crap? Wrong tool for that job. Well, you can't dive into CloudFormation because that's AWS specific. Yeah, Brave Cobra 2, it absolutely would, because at least you're reading from one Terraform thing to another Terraform provider, and you'll say, okay, over here, the pod is declared this way in this format, but it's called a different thing in a different provider. So, okay, fine. But yeah, it's learn once, write anywhere. So you'll be able to read any of this Terraform code and be like, oh, I get that's what that is. And I could see it depends on this, and that depends on that, and we inject this variable here. It makes things unified. But it is not a silver bullet, man. No. Don't work that way. All right, I want to, at the very least, before we take a break, I want to get this set up to be provider, and let's see what comes down with it, though. So, yeah. So I've aliased the command terraform to TF. I only use golden bullets. Golden bullets. So we've got terraform has been successfully initialized. What I like to do is lock this down. And I think it is version. I think it's literally just what it told me to do. And we just leave it at that. Let's try this again, just to make sure. Nope. Oh crap, what did I do wrong? I have a syntax error. That is not right. Somebody's going to be yelling at me right now. Oh, not just combined providers. You can use multiple of the same. We may get into that. Yeah. I'm just looking up a syntax issue. Because I don't have a copy pasta. Where is that? Yeah. I need the version. Ha! There you go. That's what I. Thank you very much. That should work. I know. Not valid. That would be funny. Is it that? I wish they. There we go. All right. There we go. Winner, winner. Chicken dinner. So what this did is in here, because I'm on a Mac and I am not ignorantly using my Dockerized version of Terraform, I have that. So that is for Darwin AMD 64. Yeah, it's a hang on. Chicken pie. I have to look it up every time. All the time. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. We'll just do that on stream. Okay, so we have okay, good deal. So we have this. We are not committing the Terraform file. Beyond that, we can do commenting. Make a VPC. Make a instance. And we'll just keep it all in the same file, which is not what you would want to do, but we'll do that. But yeah, this is what we have so far. We're gonna take a short break again, Pomodoro. We're doing this, so we're still on the TF basics. I understand some people may have to go. We're gonna go a little bit over our stream time. I may cut it off around 6:30 or so, and we can just continue it elsewhere, or maybe I'll just do it live as I'm actually going through it with my coworker. But nice keyboard. Do want Zolvek. I will talk about the keyboard when I get back. Keyboard is. I need a keyboard stream and just refer people to it. We will talk about. We'll talk about the keyboard. How cool it is, but I do need a short break. So stand by. Let me find some fun music to chill by. I don't know. I don't know. Just leave mine out of it. Yeah, we will, because I can only carry one piece. One piece. And you have a two-piece. Let's leave mine out of it. That's funny. Oops. Too loud. Okay. Alright, I will be back. Please stand by. Okay, we're back. We're all bio-breaked up, refreshed. Let me know if the Spotify is too loud, if my audio is still good. I had to close my window. It's dark here. Kind of disappointing. Let's see. Computer, office, warm. Is it going to obey? Do
Okay.
it. Was too low. Still too low? Still too low? You want a little... Actually, we can do this. How's that? West 3, 2, 1. I gotta balance with what I'm hearing. I like to hear the music too. More? Let's try this. How we doing now? Just a little background music, you know? You hear no music. Marathon. If you're talking, it's fine now. Okay, okay. Yeah, so, yeah, we'll go with this. I just want to make sure it's not too drowning from talking. Let's see. I don't want it blasting people's eardrums out. I delay. Yeah, the delay thing. So I'm gonna reach out to some of my other streamers because I don't understand exactly where the chat delay comes from. 10% down now when you talk, so I can do that. I can do that. Little. There we go. I'll give it 1 or 2 minutes for chat delay to catch up. ML Development, or MI Development, if it's a capital I, casing, now hosting me for up to 4 viewers. Thank you very much for the host. I appreciate it. So if you're just joining, we're doing some Terraform. Terraform, what is Terraform? It's infrastructure as code. We're gonna build some cloud infrastructure. Perfect. WAS 321. Thank you very much. I appreciate the feedback. It's it's tough as a streamer to know because I don't do this professionally for a living, so it's tough to get that feedback. So lighting looks, I think, okay. I've lost my main window light because it gets dark so early here and it's overcast all the time anyway. That's the Januaries. How it goes. So welcome any of the new viewers or new followers or new people just popping by in chat, checking out what the heck is this? Science and technology. Is this really science and technology? Well, not really. Kind of. It's science. Computer science. It's math, allegedly. Even though most of the time turning things off and turning it back on again works. I just triggered my Alexa because I switched the keyword to computer. Hush. I may rethink a different keyword here pretty soon. That's getting really annoying. Okay, so we're gonna make a resource. We're gonna make a VPC. In fact, let's just, yeah, we should probably do that. Let's see if this should allegedly not work. If we did this. No, that does work. So we would actually have to make a thing. So we'll do a VPC. And I'm looking off stream to this way because I'm not writing all the crap from scratch. So you call it a resource and you call the resource from that provider that we downloaded. So that's why I get all this nice pop-up stuff. So VPC. The second argument is you give it a name, and so this is going to be the TF tutor. tutorial, I guess. And that's it. And so we're going to give it a cider block. If you're not familiar with what a cider is, this tool is exceptional for calculating things like cider blocks. So it's basically figuring out like how many IP addresses do you want to be in to be available for the VPC to use. So because this is an unrestricted one, we don't have to worry about any restrictions to an on-prem VPN existing connection or a VPC to VPC transit gateway attachment to worry about overlapping CIDRs, which are bad. So we could just pick a /16. So we'll do that. We'll say, we'll just pick a /16 of the 10 variety, 10.0.0.0/16, because I don't care. And it's in a whole new account that I made for this whole stream. Which reminds me, I think we're fine. I think that's a default, that's a default, that's a default. We'll do tags. So resource tags are a must. Like, very, very good idea to do this. So we'll do a name is tutorial and a description is tutorial disposable VPC, right? And so now, so we don't need that. And I want this bigger so we can see stuff. Let me check. Yeah. TF plan. Yeah, so it's already going to take a shit. So what I have to do, and I'll do this off screen just to make sure. So I will assume, and again, assume I've got somebody in here that if they actually give me a follow, I'll make them a VIP or a moderator. You know who you are. To be able to spread the word, and we should probably do a chatbot command for that, actually. Yeah, we should probably do that. But I will do an assume to assume the role of, what did I name that? DRP, hang on. Find out what I named that. Tutorial. 1 sec in case this spits out bad stuff. Yep. We're good. Always be careful, kids. Have a trigger for your secret screen. ML Development is now following. Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. Every little follow helps. And now you will get alerts when I go live, and I go live usually Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Saturdays at noon Eastern Standard Time. This is an ad hoc one. So this tells me that it's not picking up my default region, so I'll just say region is US East 2. Let's try that again. Nope. Parathon says, I'm working on a VS Code extension to switch scenes if you open a set secrets file. That's a clever idea. Ah, dang, heck. If I had points to give, I could do it. Good call. Good call. There we go. Okay, so if this goes through and it plans and it shows me what it's going to create, that means my credentials would work, but they don't. And I think it's because I have to source, for some reason, every freaking time. Now let's go do that. Do a thing. There it is. That's fine. Try it again. I don't know why. There. There. Okay. So let's look at this. You can add region to AWS config to avoid this in the future. Yeah, what's interesting is I already did. Unless I spelled it wrong. Which, looking off screen, I did not. So, it's probably more of an issue with the tool that I'm using, the Awesome thing. But, point taken. Okay, so we have this working. So what is going to happen? So tags, there are going to be 2 tags created right here. It's going to create a tag name, tag description. The owner ID, all this other stuff is computed. Instant tenancy is default, which I believe it defaults. What does it default to? Here it is. Yeah, so it's default. Enable DNS support true. Enable DNS hostnames true. Classic link false. There's a whole bunch of stuff that it just like does the defaults, right? I know you never have the issues that I have. That's okay. Yeah, so these defaults, it sets those. And one of the things that I've run into is that sometimes you'll not really understand the defaults that are being set behind the scenes, and you'll run a thing, and then you'll try to poke around the console to see what it created, and you can't see the thing. But after you do this, and all the defaults are applied, and all the computed values are applied, and you actually run it, if you do a TF show, then it'll show you what that computed stuff and all those defaults ended up being. Waz321 says, gotta go work in 5 hours. See you later. Oh, goodness. Have a good one. I appreciate you stopping by. Be sure to hit the follow so you can be alerted when I do go online, which is on a regular basis, but sometimes I ad hoc this stuff. So, but thanks for stopping by. I appreciate your input. Thank you for the audio input as well. That helps me a lot. So when we hit TF plan, it didn't do anything. It just told us what we will do. And in fact, TF apply would be the next command that you would hit. And it's still not going to do anything. Keep in mind, it's still not going to do anything. So sometimes when you are actually planning big infrastructure changes on a manual from your computer basis, and it's going through and it's reading the remote state to say, how do we reconcile how to do this? It can take a little while, and you're like, I'm going to go do a smoke break or a vape break or a drink break or a coffee break or whatever. You come back and it's waiting on this damn thing right here. Right here. Oh, sorry. You have to say yes. Okay, heck. Keep that in mind. So here we go. So it's going to make a thing, and we're going to show a thing that will exist. Resource, 1 added, 0 changed. It created a VPC. Do we have a VPC? Let's see. Now, we don't need that anymore. We have that diagram. Okay. Here we go. This is the account. We will go into VPC. Isolated cloud resources. Yeah, auto approve. You can't. Yeah, but you know what? That's the worst ship it Friday ever. TF plan. Yeah, it probably looks good. TF apply, auto approve on a Friday, ship it, and then leave. Good luck. So we're in Ohio. That's what we're doing. So this one right here, this is the default VPC. How do you know? Because the column says default VPC. Yes. So this is not our default VPC. We created this. This is the best way to do it. So let's just make sure. Let's make sure everything looks good. Yep. 10 and balls, that's zeros. It's not anything sexual. The /16 DNS resolution, that's a default. Host names, route table is a default. Yeah, looks good. What about the tags? Yep, tags look good. So if you're like, oh no, this bad. What did I just make? TF show. Okay, that's what I made. That's okay. And I think, you know, maybe that's wrong. Maybe I do want DNS host names. Maybe I want. I don't know why you would want to do that. Maybe you're wanting to set. I don't know. I don't know what you would want to do. But if you do TF destroy, this is the beauty of Terraform. Currently, Terraform in this file right here, which I will not open. I will not open because state can be considered sensitive. You know, it could contain keys and whatnot. This contains everything that it knows about. And when I say TF show, which TF is short for Terraform, I have a bash alias. It knows it created this because it has the file for it with the provider and the region. It's going to create it in that region. It knows the thing you described. It filled in the blanks for you with the defaults. It knows that it did create it because your state was updated after the apply. You could say show because it's aware of this, but you can also destroy it. And that is the beauty of you have all of your infrastructure and everything under control in code. There's no weird instances or VPCs or you know, crap deployed into your default VPC that you're not even aware of. Things deployed in other regions. I have clients that have things in, you know, regions they didn't even know existed because somebody didn't pay attention to the drop down on the console and said click this, and they went to use it and it didn't work, and they were like, oh, it's the wrong region, and they switch over without destroying all the crap that they created first. So we're going to destroy this now. Now, just like apply, destroy is it's going to try to read your state. Now it's going to tell you it will perform the following action. It's going to destroy that VPC. The plan is nothing to add, nothing to change, one to destroy. Let's say we say no, and instead it will do it. But instead, let's say what we wanted to do is we wanted to add a new tag called environment is cost center. I don't know. It's just an idea. So now if we say TF plan, so it's going to refresh your state. It's looking at what it knows about your state. It's looking at what it has. And you'll notice that now it's an update in place because there are certain attributes like tags that can be updated in place. And so, yes, we didn't specify an out parameter to save this plan. So the next time you run apply, whatever, but we still have to refresh the state anyway. So it's going to read the state. It's going to refresh it. I'm going to say yes. And after this, we'll destroy it to see what it looks like. Okay, let's go here. We'll say refresh. On tags, you can see that now I've got the environment cost center. Cool. So let's destroy it. Destroy. Managed is terrifying. Yeah. Automod. Why did it even do that? Managed is Terraform with a version. I think that makes sense. Also alerts you if you start switching your infrastructure over to be a newer version with an end quote, of course. Yeah, of course. Also good for when you do move to a breaking change, which I believe 12, excuse me, is going to introduce some breaking changes. You can kind of be like, wait a minute. My state is managed by this older one. This is going to take like a new work order or level of effort or something like that, right? So let's just show what it looks like to destroy some state that's managed by Terraform so that everyone on the stream can actually see what that looks like and verify that it works. So you're not just taking my word for it, you can see it in action. And if we get an error, we can work through it together. So I'm going to say Terraform destroy. And this will be destroying everything it knows about. Now, it's not going to destroy the role that I'm in or the user I'm already using. It's not really destroying the provider because a provider is more like an NPM package. So there's nothing wrong with that. But it is going to destroy everything from line 7 to 15 that it knows about, including everything that's stored in the state. And there's a state backup. But we'll say, yes, destroy. And that's pretty quick. Did it work? Okie dokie, there it goes. Bye. Bye, Felicia. No more. The only thing we have now is the default VPC. Now, you're probably wondering, why is there a default VPC? There is a default VPC for every region and every account, starting from, I think, yeah, destroy is very specific. And in fact, you can destroy plan. You can do an output of a destroy plan. That may be a step in your manual approval process. So yeah. So there's that. Heck. Okay. We did. Hang on. I want to check my engineer notes here. See where we're at. Git repo, make a main, initialize a provider, create a VPC, an IGW, subnet, and an instance. We're gonna have to probably leave that till tomorrow, if that's okay with y'all. I got other stuff in family whatnot that I got to get to tonight. I might actually stream like the event of training my friend. I'll have to get his sign off if he's okay being broadcast. It might be I don't know how I can actually make that work. I don't know how I could get that doing. Dinner is for the week. Yeah. Well, that's how it goes. But let me go through here, just make sure I'm not missing anybody. I do want to thank my VIPs, Brave Cobra 2, Clark.io, Rambling Geek, everybody that stopped by, welcome. Hit the follow if you want to be alerted. If not, you know, it's okay. It's cool. I don't mind. Give me some feedback. You can find me on the Twitters. Be at drpoindexter on the Twitters. Elsewhere, you could run that command and you would be able to get exactly this output. So that you knew how to contact me and you could see that, oh, that's funny. Okay, so yeah, I added, so I've got my Docker Hub, I've got all the stuff, so you'll be able to find me if you run that. Rambling Geek, thank you very much. Let me know, like, give me heads up when you're streaming next. I'm super curious to see where this goes, especially with the potential of like the stream splits and it's like, I don't want to do this with you, Dad. I want to do it on my own. I don't know how that's gonna go, but you've got a great setup. I admire that. Mine is very rough right now, but I made a promise that I'm not gonna go too crazy about this because I have a pretty obsessive personality with things. Evidence 1, Exhibit 1. But I also think that it's more about building the habit and building the recurring. People know when they can find me, even if I do ad hoc stuff. The Mike Jolly, great stream. I may watch again to absorb it all a little better. Well, hey, the video on demand is saved on Twitch, so you can check that out. And I also archive them over onto YouTube because Twitch doesn't keep them forever. At least not the kind of the Twitch level that I'm at. which is basically just some dude on the internet, right? And then the Mike Jolly. If you have feedback, hit me up on Twitter. Follow me. Shoot me a message if you have improvements. If there are parts of it that you think maybe would necessitate like a full stream on its own. Tuesday, Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Saturdays at noon Eastern Standard Time are kind of my normal times. But I ad hoc this stuff every now and then too. Rambling Geek, neither do I. I think his will be weekends and only if he wants to do it. Yeah, I think it's go easy on it, right? Like I got kids. My oldest is 16 and my youngest is pretty young, 10. The wants change, right? It's very shifty. You never know what they're into. And the other thing is too, I would be very cautious putting a minor on stream without explaining to them what the potential downsides could be down the road kind of thing. I canceled my Instagram because they changed their terms of service where pictures that I had taken previously of my kids legally could have been used publicly in advertising. Nah. Hard pass, bro. Canceled Instagram and deleted all that stuff because of that and never have signed up. We have had that chat. Good. You're a good dad. I get that feeling from you. So, okay. Well, I'm going to bounce off here. Thank you all for stopping by my impromptu stream. I'm surprised that so many people came by. Sorry about the audio problems. I've tweeted myself. I should probably write me a nice post-it to remind myself that if audio is having a problem, unplug it, plug it back in. It'll work. Thank you very much, Frackberg. I expect a follow out of you at least. I can't demand it technically because it's 6:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but also you should stream. Consider it. Thank you everybody for stopping by. Thank you for the people that rated, that hosted, that decided to give some exposure. I appreciate it. I hope this was worth it. I'm excited playing around with this stuff. I learn stuff. You learn stuff. We learn together. Part of the community. Yeah, Rambling Geek. The problem is I can't read levels. I read levels worse than I read transistors. That's my thing. I want to see your ugly face. I like it. Don't worry about your ugly face. It ain't about that. It's about what's in here, my friend. Okay. With that heartwarming moment, I will let you all go. Have a great night. Thank you for stopping by. We'll see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. Thank you very much.